Come on in, Coach.
I've missed you. It's been a day.
Yes. Okay, just a reminder, the first 10 minutes are questions for our players, and then Coach, the next 12 minutes. So a reminder to give your name and affiliation the first time you ask a
How do I
question.
look?
And we'll open it up for question for our players.
For players or the statement?
Oh, you tell me.
Go ahead and give a statement, yes.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to thank the University of Arizona. They have been really great to us. They've been great hosts. They've been, everyone who we've passed has been very kind, even on the way out of the game today. So what a classy operation. I hope we come back and get a chance to play again. Much respect for all they've done. You guys have a great team, a great program. You know, to say I'm really proud to be bringing a team to the Sweet 16 would be an understatement. There's been some roster reconstruction over the last since I got the job. These guys trusted me enough to say, let's do this, right? And that's one thing to say it, and another thing to do it. And it's so hard to win in March, and this group has won not one but two on the road. We sort of felt like we should be hosting, and there was only one thing to do is to prove it. And you know, these guys earned it. You really did. You earned it not only today, but how you've handled yourself all year long. I'm really, really proud of you, and really glad you're mine.
Okay, now players' questions. Who'd like to start?
Alex Simon from the Next. Deja, when Kennedy matches not just her season high in points, but also assists, just can you talk about what exactly she brought to you guys tonight, and especially when you needed it most?
Everything. Literally everything. She came out gunning from jump. She was running the floor. She was defending, getting steals. She was doing a little bit of everything, which is what we needed her to do. She was our X factor tonight, and she is probably the biggest reason why we won this game by a lot.
And Kennedy, especially what you guys were able to do on the defensive end. I mean, you guys only committed 6 fouls. Just can you describe what it felt like to be playing defense tonight when it seems like you guys were as interconnected? And even if they were getting good looks, obviously, that's basketball. Sometimes those don't go in.
Yeah. Well, first off, one of our coaches said to build the wall, like before this game, and that's exactly what we did. You said we only committed 6 fouls, but I think we just played together and played with a lot of energy, and that just showed because it transitioned to offense, and we started rolling from there.
Next question.
Shelby Swanson, Daily Tar Heel. First of all, congrats on the win. So you guys knew coming into today's game it was going to be loud. There's this one point, Kennedy, in the third quarter, you came down, you hit this three, and you just stared directly at the Arizona crowd, kind of silencing them. Could you just talk about that moment a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we knew they have a big crowd, but, I mean, we were silencing them, and, I mean, it was just the energy. Like, the atmosphere was great. We had our fans, so it was just, I don't know, I kind of blacked out, and I just, like, stared at them, but no disrespect to any of them because, I mean, they have a great fan base and everything, so props to them.
Yeah, and a quick question for Deja. So the buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter, that was just a huge momentum shift. Could you talk a little bit about that and the importance you think it played in today's game? I
think that was a huge momentum builder for us. Coach told me to get the ball in my hands with those last, I think it was like 12 seconds on the clock. And I saw who was guarding me, and I just attacked. She bit. She kind of jumped at that first move, and then I just crossed, went up. She fouled me, it went in, and our little students fan section went crazy. Our bench went crazy, so that was definitely a momentum shifter for us.
Two more for me, Alex, from the Next. Kennedy, you guys were saying it just out there, but as a North Carolina kid getting to play an NCAA tournament game in the Greensboro Coliseum, I know you guys were just there and it didn't go well. How much did that, sorry to bring it up, how much did that maybe have a little bit of extra juice for you guys as you came out west to say, if we win these two, we're going back home?
Yeah, we know that our crowd is going to be there for sure, and that's going to give us a lot of momentum. Arizona's a great team, but we were ready to play in the Sweet 16, and we're very capable of beating whoever.
Asia, when Coach subs you out with about 40 seconds ago, you guys have a big hug. Were you guys exchanging words at that point? What was kind of said there, if you don't mind sharing?
She just told me how proud she was of me, and I just expressed how excited, how happy I was. Like, it was just a moment of, like, we did it. We've been through so much. We've had such a long season, and we've just been waiting for this moment. We've had talks about getting here, getting to the Sweet 16. We're finally going. So I think that exchange was just really special for us.
Next question.
Nathaniel Martinez with All Sports Tucson. Throughout the game, you guys were able to go on these huge scoring runs, like in the second quarter, this 15-0 scoring run. The third quarter, you went on another one. What were you seeing out there, and how were you guys able to do that for either guy?
I think it was our defense. I think we definitely picked it up on that end. All game, really. We locked into our scout. We locked into our principles that we've been doing all season. Like Toddy said, one of our main themes this game was building a wall, and I think we did just that. And that led to a lot of runouts. Toddy and Liz got a lot of runouts, got a lot of easy layups, and that allowed us to go on our run.
Next question for our players. If there are no more questions, we will let them go. Wait, we got one more.
Yeah, another question for you, Kennedy. There's this one moment in the game, I forget exactly when it was, but the crowd was just getting loud, and I saw you kind of motioning to some teammates like, it's okay, or holding your thumbs up. Could you talk about the importance of just remaining calm during those just giant like swells of noise in the crowd?
Yeah, I think it's a little distraction. But I looked at all the players, and I'm like, we're good, we're okay. Like, they're gonna go on a run, like, but like we just have to stay composed and just know that everything's fine. Like, as long as we're connected, nothing can stop or break in between us. So,
Facts.
Okay, we will let you guys go.
Proud of you.
Well, we do have a question from those attending virtually. R.L. Bynum from the Tar Heel Tribune. R.L.? Hold on just a second.
There we go. Hey, Kennedy, I wanted to ask you about your defense on Pellington. She scored 30 points against UNLV, and she had 3 tonight. How were you able to do that, and what was so effective on the defensive end overall?
well, all I can say is just a scout. I mean, I think Coach Walt did a great job explaining the scout, and we really locked in. Like we knew going into this game, she's a great player. But we really just locked in. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and everybody stayed connected, and we really built that wall for sure.
And for Deja, obviously you were at the top of their scouting report. They were defending you really hard, and you worked through it. Can you talk about how they defended you, and you still got your points and got some big baskets?
Yeah, I assumed that that was going to be their game plan. They were playing really aggressive on me. Really tight, but I thought that was fine because why not guard everyone else? So now, Kennedy is getting her buckets. Liz is getting her buckets. Everyone's getting runouts. So I thought that worked out perfectly because then my man was hugging, so it allowed them to attack the gaps, attack the lanes. So I think the game plan worked out well for us.
Okay, we'll take also from virtual press from those attending virtually, Mitchell Northam. Mitchell?
Hey there, you guys got me?
Gotcha.
Great, awesome. For either of the players, that last game you guys played in Greensboro, you gave up 87 points. These last 2 games, the defense seems like it's been an emphasis, and tonight you held Arizona to the second least amount of points they've scored all season. Has there been an emphasis on defense and kind of refocusing and refining your groove there?
Yes. I think really the defense really transitions to offense. We really hound into that. And we really just stayed focused and just had fun.
Last question for online, Lindsay Schnell. Lindsay?
Hey, sorry, I just put my hand up right away when you started to dismiss them because I wanted to be in line for Courtney.
Okay.
She's in line.
You're in line. You're first in line.
Sweet.
We'll let you
Thank
go.
y'all.
Great job, crew. All right.
All right, we will open it for questions in the room for Coach.
I can only imagine what I look like. Jeez.
Happy.
Thank you.
In the middle, right there, in the middle, second row.
Alex Simon from the Next. Courtney, you've had some games where the number has maybe been lower than this, but especially given kind of the disciplined way you guys are able to play defense, does this feel like the best defensive effort you guys have put together?
Yeah, we thought we might play Arizona, so we did a little bit last week in preparation for them, and then, you have that gritty game, and then you've got kind of all day to prep. That's it. So we kind of broke down in film. We did some in the morning and some in some in the evening. You had one practice. The kids were pretty beat up, so we had to kind of do more walkthrough. And so, we told them that part of your practice is to really watch film, right? We need you to mentally understand, and then your body will do it. And yeah, they thought their actions, even that they're so hard to guard in that elbow rub action. Reese is so dangerous there. So is Thomas, and we were able to shut that down. Their dribble handoff action where they try to really win the paint. They'll get you once, they'll get you twice, and we knew we were not biting on any of them. We're not biting on any of them, and our guys were just really disciplined. So, they had to be. We said you're going to have to beat a good team on the road, and a really good team, and you're going to have to go through them. You can't go around them. You can't ask them nicely to move. You're going to have to go right through them. And I thought they did that.
Does maybe, if this were a neutral site, who knows what the crowd and the environment would have been like, but does it make it a little bit sweeter to beat a team on their home floor? Does that kind of sentiment come through?
Yeah, I think, again, you're as I said yesterday, so it's not just because we won. It's a great environment for women's basketball, right? And when you're playing in front of, I was exercising this morning over at Orange Theory with a bunch of people, and I've been there like every day. So they're like, hey, you're back. And someone said, I'm going to come to your game tonight. How do I get tickets? And I said, you live here. I have no idea how to get tickets. I walk right through. And she said, I'm going to come to the game. I'm going to figure out how to come to the game. So I got you guys a new fan, because I'm sure after coming to the game, she'd like to be there. But yeah, we told them every time that something goes well for them, it's going to feel like it's going really bad for us. You just lock into the scoreboard, lock into each other, and lock into me. And everything else is noise. And I thought they did a really good job, especially as they went on a little bit of a run. We tightened up a little bit. They sort of locked in.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Can't help but notice that your hair is a little bit wet. Could you take us through what happened in that locker room after the win?
Yeah, so we got them, actually. So we all had the water bottles, and I knew they were going to do something. And so I don't know if they were going to do water or not, but we all came in just one after another, film and assistants, and we just came spraying. So, again, I feel a little bad because the locker room is now wet, but it was well earned. So, yeah, we got them. We got them. And then in turn they got me, but we got them first.
Next question.
Alex Simon from The Next again. To have this team, it's kind of a team you've been able to slap together a little bit, and especially to be 6 deep. You usually can go 7, but you tightened it up. What is the feeling as a coach to be able to get this group to this point?
It's remarkable. I mean, if you think we start 4 sophomores, or most people have COVID seniors, we have COVID freshmen, so they, those sophomores are basically freshmen, and, they had to really, led by Deja, had to really take a chance, right? The program was kind of in a time of transition. And then Carly, the point guard I had at Princeton, she was choosing between Arizona and Stanford, who played in the national championship game. I was texting her during the game, like, babe, come on. I've already recruited you once, right? And then Eva's from New Hampshire, where I'm from. So we had to kind of piece it together because it's a little early in our kind of rebirth. And so these guys work so hard. I know every coach says that. I've been coaching for a long time. This group is really, really into it. And so they earned it. And so for me, that's just a gratifying experience for me to be a part of.
When you talk about those COVID freshmen that are sophomores, obviously maybe at the end of the game you could look at some of the turnovers when they brought the heavy trapping that you would not want to get back. But especially in the 35 minutes coming up on the offensive end, just the discipline that they show with Arizona's very stifling defense throughout the day.
I thought the most dangerous part of this game was that if we allowed their pressure to make us tentative. So I really tried to get into them that we're going to have to run through Arizona. Run right by them in transition, run through them in quarter court, cut hard through them. We're not going to be able to gently work our way through this game. And I think that freed up the guys to know, all right, when I drive hard, I've got to make a pass, because if you're hesitant against pressure, it's not good. And so I'm most proud of their ability to be aggressive and play with confidence on this stage in this environment, at being so young.
Next question.
Yeah, we've already hit on it on multiple points throughout the press conference, but can you just talk about just the importance of Kennedy Todd Williams in today's game?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably no bigger fan of Kennedy Todd than me. She is such a gem. We needed her to have a great game. She can do so many things on the court, and for a kid like that to be able to impact the game. I've called her Scottie Pippen since the day I recruited her. And you saw it today. She's a lot like Scottie Pippen. She does a little bit of everything that contributes to winning. And to see Deja, who has been such a headline all year, just so honestly and genuinely and authentically love on how Toddy played. That's kind of what this team's about. But yeah, we wouldn't be sitting up in this if Toddy hadn't played so well.
Yeah, and just to touch on that again, aside from, the matching the career high and points and assists, she really, especially towards the end of the game, was playing with some flair. She, I remember crossed this one girl at half court, kind of stuck her tongue out a little bit. Can you just talk about
emotional.
how the energy that she plays with, how that impacts the team?
Yeah, she played with great energy, and she didn't she kind of let her emotions, she can be pretty stoic. So can I, so I can kind of meet her there. But I think this game, I said in March, you've got to bring it out of yourself. You got to come outside of yourself, and she did that, and that's not an easy thing to do. So yeah, I'm so happy she's enjoying her process because that kid could be really special.
Okay, we'll take some questions online from those attending virtually.
Remember that person said she was first. Lindsay
Oh, yeah.
Shell or something?
Yeah, Lindsay,
I got you, Lindsay.
Coach took care of you.
Coach, thanks for looking out for me.
You got it.
Really fast, I want you to know that Charlie Turner Thorne, who just stepped down at ASU, she always used to go into the locker room with a towel wrapped around her head so her hair wouldn't get wet after a celebration.
Yeah, so she didn't look like she's
just
always been
FYI.
more stylish than me. I got you.
You mentioned, that you thought that you all could have hosted and that you had this great environment and winning on their home floor is a big deal. But I wondered, we've had some big time upsets in the women's game this tournament, which is great, including obviously Iowa and Baylor, two seeds losing. Is it time for us to move the women's tournament to all neutral floors where theoretically we would have even more upsets?
What's hilarious about that is we're finally at the point where I think we will host. And I'm actually going to tell you that, I think, it's hard because this environment's so great, right? Are we ready? I think I'm kind of a purist in knowing that the environment's important. So it's got to be in certain environments that can prepare for that because you want it to feel special. This felt really special for both teams. March is awful for everybody but one when it all comes down to it, right? But nobody here tonight, whether it's a fan or a player, won't remember this. And so that's what I just want to make sure doesn't get lost is the moment of remembering how special the energy and excitement is. So I don't know if we're totally ready for that entirely yet, but I think getting more games on TV and having these upsets are showing the quality of play, so.
Okay, we'll move now to a question from Noah Monroe from the Daily Tar Heel. Noah?
I think you're on
Hey,
mute.
Coach. Noah Monroe from the Daily Tar Heel. Congrats on the win. So you shut down a team who regularly scores 70 plus to just 75 or 45 points on their home court and had them at a season low 42 points for that 3-pointer at the end. Then you shut down Pellington to just 3 points. I mean, what or who was the key tonight in the defensive clinic?
5-on-5. We said I don't like any matchup one-on-one against this team. I don't like any of them. So luckily, we're not going to play it. We're not going to play one-on-one anywhere on the court with any of their players. And so we made it a 5-on-5 game. We made sure that we showed their kind of main favorite actions, and we said this is where they like to ISO, and we just were like, we're not having it. So 5-on-5. There's really no one kid that stopped anybody. It was all 5 all the time.
Okay, R.L.
And just
Bynum.
a follow-up on that, if I can.
Of course.
Go ahead.
So, you really emphasize hustle, and I just remember a moment where Alyssa Usby seemingly kind of came out of nowhere and blocked a shot. What does it mean to see that kind of hustle from your team on a daily basis on the court?
Yeah, Alyssa's the motor. She played all 40 minutes. I took her out so she could be celebrated. That kid plays so hard every minute. We would not be sitting here this far along in March without Alyssa Usby. She's just the motor of our group. And, she had to guard the 5. She had to guard when Reese was in, she was guarding Reese. When she wasn't in, she was guarding the 5. And she's, 6'1" guard. So, all about heart. And that's what we pride ourselves on as a program.
Thank you. Congrats on the win.
I didn't have any more healthy people to put in to let Carly come out.
Okay,
have 4
R.L.
guards.
R.L. Europe.
Hey, Courtney, congratulations on the win. Can you talk about the defense on Pellington? You were saying it was a team effort, but it seemed like there was a lot of Kennedy. Kennedy had a lot to do with her poor game with only 3 points after 30 the game before.
Yeah, we wanted Tottie's length on Pellington. Also, we knew she'd try to pick on us, which is what they did the very first possession of the first half and the second half with our length. So we knew that Deja was not an option there. And we moved Deja to Thomas and wanted her to contest at the arc, and we'd have good gap help by some of our longer and defenders. So, part of it was scout, and part of it was in March, good players making good plays.
What were the emotions as you were building the lead and during the timeouts and as the game progressed? And did you think that you would build that sort of margin that early in the game?
We've been spurred ability all year. As you know, I think our margin of victory still is in the top 5 in the country, and that's even after a very challenging ACC schedule where we played NC State twice and Virginia Tech 3 times, et cetera. So we've kind of been doing that. We're a hard team to put away, and we also were dangerous, to go on runs. So that's been pretty much our staple in terms of of most of our season. So this game went kind of honestly as planned.
We have time for.
And obviously, you saw South Carolina in a preseason scrimmage. Can you talk about the challenge that they give you, and maybe you can't tell us too much about how that went, but maybe a little bit of how that went?
Yeah, South Carolina is one of the very best teams in the country, and they have some of the very best players in the country. They're incredibly dominant inside. You're playing a number 1 seed overall. If them and Stanford are kind of fighting for that right now. So that challenge will be formidable. We take 1 week at a time. So I know it's a very quick turnaround because we're on the other side of the earth right now, and we got to get back home. But we have played them. We've recruited those players, so we know them well. The familiarity is obviously is clear. But I mean, our guys are going to give what we got, and that's a very, very good basketball team, and it'd be exciting to be playing them in Greensboro.
We have time for one more question. JB Ricks.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
I know there's a lot of celebrating to do tonight or whatever, but just in case I don't get to talk to you before Friday, I just have to hear your initial thoughts on the atmosphere you're going to be expecting on Friday. North Carolina, South Carolina, Sweet 16. I can't imagine that place having 1 seat available. So I just want to hear your initial thoughts on what you're expecting this Friday night.
Yeah, me neither. I can't imagine. I remember we were doing our celebration when we were figuring out where we were playing for the tournament, and all of our fans were like, "Oh, Tucson." And then they figured out that it was Greensboro if we advance, and they all said, "Just please come home." And I think going into this game, I had 181 unread text messages, and so I can't even keep up. People saying, "Come on, one more so you can come home." So yeah, I think we'll draw well. I think the environment will be great. South Carolina travels as well, and it's just women's basketball is in the best spot it's ever been in. I've given my life to women's basketball. It's all I've ever done. With 2 Ivy League degrees, I think a lot of people would question that, my parents included, but it's all I've ever done. And the game is the healthiest I've ever seen it. So I think the crowds will show out for it.
Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate you. I'll miss you.
Well, maybe I'll show up.
Okay. Might not be a seat for you, it turns out.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Go win it all.